Hi.
Hello, welcome, my fellow operatives. My name is the Nemesis James Taylor, and you are watching the Nemesis Sessions. This is Chapter 11, and my guest today, former two-time World Heavyweight Champion from PWF, Promo Wrestling Federation. He is a former ally of mine as well from the Elite Operatives. He is the one and only, the Enlightened one, Buddha. Buddha, welcome to the Nemesis Sessions. How are you today?
I'm great. I'm great. It's been a long time since I've actually talked to you on camera. I mean, we don't do the Discord chats anymore.
I know it. I know it. I know it. And that I apologize for that. But hey, we'll get to talk about that here shortly. So I wanted to know. Let's go ahead and start this off. Let's go ahead and start it off right now. So since PWF, what has Buddha been up to? Has he just been in the kind of like doing a soft retiring? Has he been just sitting on the sidelines waiting for his next victim? What exactly has been going through your head since PWF hasn't necessarily closed its doors, but just kind of been on the back burner and just kind of chilling out for a while? Never say never, right? What
Never say never. Yeah. I mean, right now I started it off as a hard retirement. Now it's kind of turned into a soft retirement, and because I keep seeing these new faces on all these other on all these other on like
TikTok and Instagram and all that good stuff?
yeah, I'm doing TikToks and stuff, but I keep seeing these new promo artists, and I'm like, it's painful to watch some of them, really. And I'm like, you know, you, if you can't do it on the fly, write it out and rehearse it. I don't care.
Those are some wise words for sure. Oh, look, we got somebody coming in, Steele saying Buddha. So I guess
Christopher Steele,
how you doing,
how you
Chris?
doing?
Welcome, welcome, welcome. So that being said, it's kind of the same with me. I've been sitting there and I'd go on TikTok, make a few little videos, and then I see these other guys, these up and comers doing promos and stuff for the other companies like HCW, KCW, all that good jazz. And I'm just like, who are these people? And hey, it is what it is, right? It's
I mean,
different.
I thought about making a promo just to poke at some of them. Like,
Hey, what's stopping you? That nothing's stopping you from doing it. You know what I mean?
yeah,
You could.
I'm not signed with any of them, so I mean,
Yeah, true, true. Now, with that being said, as far as with PWF, it was never a. I'm going to go ahead and throw it out there. It was never like, hey, you can't do this, you can't do that. You're free to come and go as you play, kind of like what Impact Wrestling and AEW does. They kind of just
yeah.
wrestlers do what they want to do, but also be part of them. That's the way that I would roll. That's the way that I would look at it as well. So feel free to, if you're going to do that, do it. I mean,
Oh,
I haven't seen
my,
a Buddha promo in a while.
right now I'm enjoying where I am. Um, Now if I get a little froggy, that Buddha may come out again.
Yeah,
Uh, I just I haven't picked my target yet. If I do that,
yep,
you
true.
know. So I mean, it's got to be a strategic target, and I've got to talk it out with the owner of the person of the company before I even do that.
Understand. Completely understandable. So let's go back to the roots of promo wrestling. Let's go back to the first time that you noticed, or what you got on TikTok, and you see these guys. Obviously, you're a fan of wrestling, just like a lot of us are.
Yeah.
You saw PCW, let's bring up Promo Championship Wrestling, and just like I did, what got you into promo wrestling, and what was it like for you your first time there?
Well, actually, my uh, it was a different. It was with TTWF. Can't remember his name. He was the first ever TTWF world champion. I believe it was. Oh, he went back and forth with Mr. Professor, but I can't think of his name right now. Um, but anyway, I was watching a lot of his stuff, and I was thinking about doing that, and I with TTWF before they got taken over by NGT, but I had seen this, TikTok promo challenge with this dude with a paper title, saying "cut a promo on me."
Right.
So I cut a promo on him, and I posted it, and about later, Drake the True Snake contacted me. He's like, "Hey, I'm owner and head writer for PCW. You want to do? Would you be interested in promoing?" I was like, "Sure, why not?"
Oh,
Um, I was just goofing off, but so and I, watched a lot of y'all's videos, and I was just sitting around, and Buddha's been my nickname since for 5 years. So I was like, okay, let's just stick with that. And then
oh,
I added the Enlightened one on there, and it just grew from there. And really, I just thought I was mediocre until I started listening to you guys, to all the other people in your podcast. Was like, I was in their top, promo artists from PWF and PCW. I was like, oh God, I didn't think I was that good. So
well, it's because you have everybody has their own characteristics, their own type of attitude, their own type of tone of their voice, and what makes them the superstar that they are. And I think the reason a lot of the guys respect you is because you have this monotone type, aura about you or something. You're the enlightened,
yeah,
you're Buddha. So it's kind of like
yeah,
you hear the word Buddha, you think of a monk of some sort, and it's like you're calm, but you're like a serious calm. It's like you're that calm that has all this anger kind of building up, and you're bottling it aside. And the second that motherfucker just pops, you're gonna come unglued and tear everybody a new asshole. And that's
yeah.
what everybody loved about you. Um,
Uh,
what do you have to say about that? Can you hear me? Oh no, I think we lost him. I think we lost him. Hopefully, we didn't lose him. Yeah, we lost him. So, that being said, Buddha, if you can hear me, come on back. Let me see if I can get this fixed for the guy. There we go. Uh oh. So, we just need to wait for Buddha to come back. I see we got some stuff going on. What's up, Joshua Allen? I see you. How you doing, brother? Damn, I get on and he leaves. No, he's having the StreamYard problem. You know what I mean? Peter, he will be back here shortly. Hopefully, he will get his thing fixed up. So let's see. And hey, I put a link in the description. We can even do your presence broke the internet. Okay, Mr. Cocky. I put a thing if anybody's interested and they want to come join the stream, you're more than welcome to talk with Buddha. We could do a little panel or whatnot if we could get him back in here. Maybe we could kill some time until he gets back in here. So I'm going to be asking him questions. If there's any questions that y'all got that y'all want to know, just let him know. It looks like we got him back, and boom, there he is. He's back.
mm,
That is the loveliness of StreamYard. I guess it just happens sometimes.
no, my computer actually lost internet connection.
Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, one of those random outages. It's
Yeah, I was mid sentence. I was and it went clocking. I was like, this is
Pe-
a good.
Peter's
So,
presence broke the internet. He's
no, no, no. You may be the god,
oh,
but I'm Buddha.
there it is. There it is. Joshua Allen from TBW. If you've watched any of that, says, "What's up?" He's saying,
How
"What's
you doing, Josh?
um?" Center's coming here. So if it isn't the enlightened one himself, what's good, brother?
What's good is corned beef hash and eggs for breakfast. That's what's good.
Damn, there it is. Jose said Buddha versus Zack Starr was his favorite in PWF, so he really liked that right there.
That was a fun one. The I think the funnest match I ever had was probably um one that I actually pissed off Peter, and that was our match for the the title.
Oh yeah.
Where he beat me for his fifth championship. So
Well, you know what? Let's bring it up. Let's bring it up. We're not gonna talk about that, but we're gonna go to what do we got this to join for about 30 minutes. Oh, Peter might said he might want to come join. Before we get there, though, I want to take y'all back to a clip. Okay, we're gonna watch this clip, maybe about a minute, minute and a half, and I want you to tell me what was going through your head watching this, and what was going through your head during this time, and let's go ahead and get to it.
Effective. Gokina clutch. Byron, he's got the sleeper locked in. The sleeper hold is locked in. This could be it. Battling to get the upper hand.
Oh. Do it. Remember that?
And that right there, I just couldn't believe I made you tap, because,
Yeah. Yes, I know. You couldn't pin me, and you were all over my ass in that match. You were going to do every single thing you could to get that title, and I think I think I just turned heel and I betrayed
yeah.
the elite operatives. But tell me about that night. Tell me what was that? What was that like for you? We built our feud, and tell me
That
about
Okay, well, we'll see. We built the feud, but I was also coming off of this huge losing streak, before the feud actually started, and then I started on a roll, winning and kind of building momentum to that, and I was like, I can't keep losing if uh, whenever what's his face, we don't the man who shall not be named,
yeah.
um pitched me that I was gonna when he wanted me to win the national title. I was like, okay, yeah, that's cool. Yeah. um and he wanted me to win it off of you, and I was like, okay, this could not be better because my first match was with the Nemesis, so why can't my first major title be off of the Nemesis? So
Right. So when you won it, oh Lord, oh Lord. Well, we'll bring him in just a second, but we got a special guest for you. But when you won it, and you were finally the Promo Wrestling Federation World Champion, or the PCW National Champion, which turned into the North American Heavyweight. You were
yeah,
a world champion regardless.
yeah.
What was that like for you? What was that like for you in general?
I I
Say,
thought it was fun. It was fun because I had a target on my back that I've never had before,
Mhm.
and everyone was after me, and I had fun, just pissing people off.
There, there it is. And we're going to bring him in for a few minutes. But here is a man who you know very, very well. It's the God,
Oh, the god of PWF himself.
Peter.
I'm back finally.
Are you
He's
on lunch or
welcome
something?
to Nemesis Sessions, ladies and gentlemen. It's the one and only Peter Richards, and one of his greatest rivals right here, the Enlightened One Buddha. That he actually won his didn't you win your second world title from Peter, and then he won it back?
No, I won it off of. I won the second one off of Irish, and
uh,
then Peter won it back off of me.
gotcha.
Triple threat.
Yeah. So, but yeah,
Should
I mean,
should have
my
been
my
singles,
greatest
but
promo ever came from that rivalry because I pissed him off, and I've never been able to piss him off before.
Well, tell me about that. What was that promo? And
The promo was about his ego. I
uh-oh.
said he has to pin me. If he really wants to end our rivalry, he has to pin me because he has to know he's the best, and he has to pin me to take the belt off of me to ease his ego enough to say, "Yes, I am the best."
To satisfy him, right?
Yeah.
Peter, what was that like for you when he was telling you that? What was it that got under your skin so much?
Because I was already pissed off at Irish for all Irish did. And then Buddha just comes out of nowhere and hits me with reality. And he's like, first of all, you need to pin me because I'm your better rival than Irish. And it kind of like put me on the back. I was like, wait a minute. I'm so focused on Irish that I'm just ignoring Buddha, who's 10 times the promo artist that Irish is. And it kind of hurt my feelings that he caught me in a mistake.
Man.
And it did strike my ego a little bit too bad.
Wow.
But, I mean, I just have to say, the two greatest rivalries I had was with you guys, both of you guys. So,
Well, I saw it as, anybody I ever worked with, and I've said it 100 times, anybody I ever worked with, I wanted to do what I could to bring out the best in them. I did it to Peter, whether he wants to admit it or not. I did it to Sinner, and I did it to you. And I remember, Buddha, I think I really got under you when I did the turn, when I did the twist, and I could feel that emotion coming from you. I'm like, this is it. This is what we need. And then boom, you won your world title.
I knew it was you. I didn't know how the twist was going to work because I had actually confronted you in a Discord message saying, "That's you. I can tell it's you. I can see your build."
You knew it better before anybody else did, didn't you?
Yeah, and so, but I didn't know how it was going to go down until it actually went down, and then I was like, "Well, you son of a bitch."
I did something similar, I think a couple of months before that, to Peter, where it almost like, do you remember this, Peter? I did something, and it's like I got on. I was actually the face though at the time. I had almost made you like so mad in your promo. It's almost like you were so angry, you were almost crying. You were by a river. Do you remember that? Tell me about that. Oh,
We don't have volume.
we don't have volume. We don't have volume. You remember what to do? Okay. We'll have to remove them and bring them back. Hey, let's do that.
Oh,
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There we go. I was trying to put my earbuds in, and it muted me.
We're gonna let you talk, but one other person's gonna join for just a few minutes. And
Oh, of course.
But he wants to talk to you guys. But finish. Let's hear what you were gonna say though first, Peter.
I remember being pissed off because at the time, at that moment, I was like, who's this old man sitting here telling me what I can and can't do? And for the first time in promo wrestling, I actually took something offensive. And I was like, I gotta go down to the lake. That's where I go to get mentally focused and stuff. And I was like, this motherfucker actually pissed me off. And for the first time ever in my life, I was legitimately angry. And it brought out one of the best promos that I did at that time. And then, history goes on. But it was just him, Buddha, and I'd say Draquan is the only three people that legitimately made me mad at doing promos. And I don't know why. But it happened.
Draquan pissed you off?
Yeah. When I did the promo where I was doing the teacher school thing, like, this is how you do a promo, and then Draquan came back with, well, I work at a school, you dumb fuck. I was like, he got me. And it pissed me off so much because I forgot that he worked at a school.
Irish Outlaw saying 3 relics and a ginger. Ladies and
You
gentlemen,
are the ginger relic, Irish. You are the ginger relic.
let's introduce Sinner. And real quick, I know we only got a little bit of time with some of you guys, but like Sinner, did I ever piss you off as well, like I did these other two?
Yeah, definitely pissed me off. It just annoyed me how much you could you could go at me for so long and put up with my shit. But there were times that I even silenced you, and that is satisfying when you're silent. It's amazing. So yeah,
Well,
but
this
it's
isn't about.
annoying.
Let's get on. This is more about Buddha because this is his chapter. So let's all pay respects to the Enlightened one. But Sinner, since you're here, tell me about your rivalry. Actually, you know what, Buddha, because it's you rivalry. Tell me about your rivalry with Sinner and what was that like for you going against him?
Really, I don't remember it.
In fact, we actually never really truly had a rivalry.
Yeah, I mean, there was. I actually had to fight for Sinner because he was kidnapped by that weird faction that I didn't understand. But he kidnapped Sinner after you guys left. You know, I tried to keep the elite operatives going, and he was my tag partner. So, but as far as a rivalry, I don't think we ever had one.
And I hope you pray to God that never happens, because you're still breathing now. And if you faced me, it wouldn't have been the same, brother.
Nah. See, that's where you're wrong. See, you know, I'm Asian. Asians, no pain. Have you seen our parents? I mean, they throw shoes at us. They have psychological warfare. I mean, it's you don't know anything about how emotionally scarred I am.
That poor guy. This poor guy. Well, so what about when you were going against Peter and he beat you for his fifth world championship? You were a 2-time world champion. Before we get into that, actually, let's fill it up. Before that, you beating Irish for your second world title, and I know he's in here watching, so let's go ahead. Let's talk about that real quick.
Well, Irish really wasn't anything. He was just a placeholder for my title. That's all he was. Because that title was always mine. He just didn't realize it.
Oh. Well, he has already got something to say. Last time I saw Buddha, I drove him through the announce table at the PWF Mania pay-per-view, putting him on the shelf.
I was only out for a couple weeks. It didn't hurt really.
It didn't hurt, really.
I mean, it was like a video game, you know.
The damnedest thing.
Yeah.
Damnedest thing. Irish Outlaw wants to know, how does Peter feel about coming to HCW Blood Money as a special enforcer?
Just enforcer. That's it. Not doing anything else.
That's a special enforcer. Somebody might hurt. I don't know. So, Buddha, you went through Irish Outlaw. Obviously, he must have been a cakewalk for you, but then you had to go against the god of PWF. The Enlightened one meets the god one-on-one for the world title. Cream of the crop. Tell me about that.
Well, I mean that was actually a really fun thing. Even you know, and then you added Irish into it because it was a triple threat, that one.
Oh yeah.
And I was trying to, you know, become the next phenom and be undefeated, but no, that little bastard down in the down below me had to take my title.
That's what I do best.
What was that like?
Win champions.
Well, whenever the crowd cheered, I knew I had to do something, so I turned on everyone.
There it is. So making history like that. What was that like for you, though, Peter, having your fifth world title reign finally, and you beaten Buddha?
It was satisfying. Would I have made it a singles match? It would have been more satisfying, yes. So I still want one more with Buddha. That's synonymous. I have to do that sometime, somewhere, someplace. But to main event the Mania with Buddha and Irish Outlaw was pretty special, honestly, because bar none, those were two biggest rivalries of the year for PWF, in my opinion. And to top it off in the Mania, the main event, with three guys that deserved it, Buddha and Irish more than me, obviously, but it was amazing. It was amazing feeling.
Nice.
And would I do it again? Yeah, for sure.
There you
Would
go.
I lose again? Not voluntarily, but yeah, I'd lose again.
Yeah, it's the
No.
threat. You don't have to be pinned to lose the match or submit. And
Yeah.
Center, I see you down there. And you're looking lost. What's on your mind? Why don't you go ahead and speak to these two?
Well, look, right now, what you're all seeing is the Mount Rushmore of PWF. I'm in it because I just am, and these three, yeah, they're in it. I think. I guess we'll let them in. Why not? Personally, my experience with Buddha, I first came into PCW, and obviously I always make the joke, oh, the Batman voice, the old man in the shades, but he really did have that dark, like you said, monotone voice that really just sort of makes you fear him. It's like, oh shit, this guy's serious.
Well,
And
imagine if you were to hear a promo cut with my actual voice. Would that strike fear into anyone? I
nah,
mean,
I'd probably want to be your friend. I would want to be your friend.
especially with my stutter. I mean, be like, I'm Peter. I'm gonna kick your fucking ass.
All right, Gold. All right, Goldust. All right.
Oh man, he got electrocuted. Hey, that would have been perfect if we did a segment like that.
So I had to think of a way to make myself at least sound menacing.
It still would have been better than any of Irish Outlaws promo, so it's all right.
Oh, so let's go to that character development. I like to talk about that sometimes because sometimes I'm curious and I want to know what gave you the idea to do the black and white for your filter and then the glasses and the beanie on your head. What was that like? What is that? Just the look? You're like, I want to look like this. It'd be mysterious.
The look itself was supposed to be modeled off of the Undertaker's American Badass type of character they had. Now the black and white, I just thought it was cool to do them in black and white, to kind of give it a different, give it a separation of what I'm doing outside of PWF,
Right.
and what I'm doing inside. So anything that was inside was always in black and white, and then everything on the outside was, in color. And then I had first started like doing it with these little disco light things, and then Peter made fun of it in our first match together. I was like, "Fuck you! I'm doing away with it," and that's where he pissed me off. He's pissed me off a lot in all of our matches. God,
Damn it, Peter!
I seem
What's
to do
wrong?
that a lot. I piss people off.
Did that just make you feel good to do that? Were you always like that, Peter? Or is that just
No.
something you started developing?
That's all character.
It is fun. It is very fun. It is very fun.
You
That's
hear
it.
that,
It's all
Buddha?
character.
You see how they are?
yeah.
They like to try and piss people off. I mean, I did it purposely so I can bring out the best. They just do it for fun because they're assholes.
And they did a good job of it. I mean, especially Sinner, whenever he just out of nowhere says, "Fuck you all! I know everything about you. You're all going down." Buddha in your fucking Batman voice, you motherfucker. I'm gonna kick your ass. I'm gonna kick you.
Hey,
Oh.
Outlaw saying nothing you did, Buddha, struck fear in me.
Well, I mean, that's your fault. I still beat you.
Oh, Irish is saying, is this podcast sponsored by Center's Tea Bags? Uh-oh.
No, we sponsor stuff that more eyes get onto. More popular stuff like maybe WWE. WWE sponsors Senna's tea bags.
That's so stupid. I'm sorry.
Wow.
Oh,
Well,
shit.
so what is that also why, because of your stuttering that you have, is that why you talked real slow when you did to try and be more menacing, and then they would help you along the way?
One thing, I mean, I've learned how to control the stutter pretty well. It's just that I have to talk slow. I have to think about what I say. If I don't think about what I say, then it's like kickstarting a motorcycle. I can't,
Yeah.
So
Well, you see, I would have never, when I first saw you and talked to you like that, I was like, that's just him. I would have never in a million years thought that you had, speech impediment or stuttering or anything like that. But you don't know people until you get to talk to them one on
yeah.
one. Uh-oh. What is he having to say now? Buddha beat me by sheer stupid luck. I mean, is he coming in here just... You know what, Outlaw? We already got Center that does stuff like this. Get your own annoyance way. I'm just kidding.
I have a question
All right,
for Buddha actually. So when I was GM of PWF and we were ready to revolutionize the whole thing, I have here the match cards and the papers of what I used to write, and on here is a match that never actually happened. It's Buddha versus Lucifer. How would that have gone down?
Well, I mean, that would have been our 6th or 7th match together, because we did 4 matches in PCW and we did 1 match in PWF. He actually took the No Days Off championship from me, and then that's what sparked my 7 match losing streak before PCW Mania. But I think because I was ahead, I think it would have been him beating me, but who knows.
And then there was the lethal injection thing. I liked that. The whole lethal Peter, that whole sort of...
I never got to face Lethal. I got to face Rage, but then Lethal never cut a promo on it.
Yeah, you never quite got your hands on Lethal.
Yeah.
That's the rivalry I wish continued. Even after I lost to Joey, I still wanted me, Buddha, and Lethal Injection for a month or so. But
gotta get Lethal on one of these. Gotta get him on.
Yeah, gotta get Lethal. Gotta get Draquan. You gotta get Draquan in here too.
I got them both lined up. It's just a matter of the exact day that I can get them whenever they have the time. But they've already reached out, and I've reached out to them. We've talked to each other, so it's coming soon, folks. It's coming soon, so definitely. Yeah. And then when
that's someone else that I haven't met in the ring is Draquan. I mean, we had 1 match, but he didn't have enough time to promo against me. I was like, well, that's not fair, man.
So it's like y'all worked together for a year, but for some reason your paths never crossed.
Exactly. Because he was, Draquan was an elite operative, and then he went to, the other show. So
totally understandable.
You know what my favorite Buddha moment is, though?
What?
Even outside our rivalry and everything, when he actually locked up with Leech. And you saw the size difference.
Leech wanted to jump off the construction equipment over there at Hard Rock. I was like, no, I'm not gonna do that.
I was so pissed I had to work that day that I couldn't go.
So I was like, well, let's do a lockup. We can do that. I mean, I won't hurt myself locking up against you. Of course, I'm looking up at him as I'm saying that, because he's like 3 foot taller than me.
Dude, I knew what that was kind of like too when I met him. So I mean, he said something to me first before I said it to him, and I got the same response from Anthony Still when he first met me. And they meet me, and they're like, "Damn, you're a lot shorter than I thought you were." And I'm like, dude, I'm an average height, 5'8", no big deal. And anyways, Leech is all like, well, anyways, I'm like, damn, you're fucking taller than I thought you were. And but he was a really cool guy and person to meet.
Yeah, he was.
I liked him a lot.
I mean, he's like 6'7", 6'8", something like that, and I'm 5'4".
Yeah.
So yeah.
You still could have hit him with that clothesline from hell, knocked his ass out.
Hit him right in the chest, knocked the wind out of him.
We're still waiting now on the
Uh,
meeting, James Taylor meeting you guys. You know, in person.
yeah, yeah.
Well, TBW keeps acting up to be closer than you think.
I
Oh,
just
okay.
like I told Peter, all I gotta do is find a cane and a top hat, and I'll go
You'll be.
out there and be his manager, and
There you go.
The
I
Panther
could
will show up.
I could beat some people down with a cane,
um, Irish wants to know, would Buddha go toe to toe with Irish Outlaw again?
in a heartbeat. But I'm retired now. I'm collecting tons more money retired than I was wrestling. So if you can offer me the same amount for that one match that I'm making retired, then yeah, I'll do it.
So if let's hypothetically speak, if PWF opened its doors, would the Enlightened one return, and would he just do a one match, or would he want to come back and compete?
I would do a couple matches and then probably sit back and kind of be a mentor to the others. Kind of teach them how to do things.
There you go. There you go. What about Peter?
Would I come back?
Yeah.
How much money are you offering? I'm just kidding. Yeah, of course, in a heartbeat.
I got a light bulb right here. That's what I'm offering right now.
There we
You
go.
son of a bitch. No, I'm just
It
kidding.
looks dead, though. I
So,
guess.
so, Buddha, have you watched any of TBW? Have you seen any of the TBW that I've done?
Not. I mean, I've watched your matches, but I haven't watched your first match. But other than that, I was too busy whenever you guys premiered, or whenever you premiered, because I was working 16 hours a day. With my busy time, so I didn't have like any time to myself at that time.
That's
So,
understandable. Well, when
but
you get a chance, go check out my match I had with Gage Flair. Check out the Rumble if you want to watch it.
I did see a couple, eliminations from the Rumble. I was kind of confused about going over the second rope instead of the top rope, but
That's a whole story in itself. But with the way it works in the backyard world, because there's a lot of guys that are green, they just made it like kind of like sumo wrestling, where once you're out of the ring, you're out. So they're like, just doesn't matter. Just don't throw me over the top rope, because the ropes were loose and all this, and it was fun. It is what it is. But hey, it was fun
yeah,
regardless. Being in a battle royal or a Royal Rumble in a sort of way, it's just they called it the Raging Rumble. That's what it was called. So,
yeah.
but it was fun. Senator, you think you'd ever come over to the States and jump in a TBW ring with the Nemesis James
Like
Taylor?
I said, pay my accommodation and my flights, and I'll be there.
But I thought you make so much money that you don't need nobody.
I spend money on good stuff, not to come to a Southern City circus of TBW. All right, so
Okay. Hey, look, it is Mr. Joey Knight. He said if PWF comes back, then I want my proper singles matches against Peter and Buddha that I never got to have. Joey Knight's world title reign needs those two matches. I agree.
I'll take that match.
Yeah.
I agree.
notice how he didn't say me because he's never beaten me.
Well, I have a technical rematch against him, so it needs to get done. I need
A
my belt
technical-
back.
Oh, with
I need number 6.
Oh, okay.
So Joey Knight is the longest running PWF champion ever. He's still holding it technically.
Technically, he
It's
is.
like Curtis Axel in the Rumble.
That's like, was it Moolah who held the women's champion while it was retired?
She held that title for years, man.
Yeah,
Rhino just lost the ECW television championship.
really.
He's held that for years.
I didn't know he was the champion.
He's held it for like 20 years or something like that.
Damn. So he had it with his runs in WWE?
Like the original ECW. Yeah, he won the television championship and never defended it because they went out of business. And I think Zack Ryder just beat him for it.
Oh, we got Logie in there.
Yeah, we do. So maybe, just maybe, Would y'all like to meet him?
It's not Walter, it's Gunther.
Gunther.
Okay. Well, here
Here we go.
is. We can get his video. Low key,
Ooh.
former Prince Low Key from
Hang on.
PWF, but now just low key. But he's having some. You might, if you can hear me, you might want to leave and then come back. Yeah, that might be what he needs to do. Yep, that's what he's doing. So, yeah, he's in my world title reign, running like Walter's UK title reign.
It's Gunther.
There it is.
No,
What?
I actually accomplished everything I wanted to accomplish in promo wrestling, so I'm kind of content in whatever I want, and doing whatever I want now.
There it is. And it's kind of like a free agent, but you're retired and stuff.
Yeah.
Joe, I'll say it's okay. Joey Knight can have those matches, get his glory, then lose it to Irish Outlaw like he did the U.S. title at PCW Mania. Ooh. Oh boy, talking some trash. I think
Somebody woke up angry today.
Yeah, he chose violence.
And I think we got him now.
Oh, there's that ugly dude right there.
Welcome to the Nemesis sessions. Low key, can you hear us?
Okay. Yoo-hoo. Is it?
I think,
You're not. I think he's frozen.
no, he's moving.
There you go.
Okay, what's going on now?
There we go. We can hear you.
Hang on.
If he can't hear us, yeah. Oh God, Irish woke up choosing violence today. Joey Knight said, "It's roughest from Kim Possible." Irish Outlaw said, "Everybody wanting to talk trash today."
I like that one.
Wow, that was
a little dated, but I like that one.
All right, let's see if we can get in here now. Maybe this will work this way. Well, while he loads in, so you are content, you say, with your run from PCW PWF.
Yeah.
Is there any matches that other than the one with Lethal or anybody else that you would have liked to have had, or maybe these new guys you see that you would like to have a match with?
Well, I mean, I would have liked to have had a match with Icarus. That guy's got some skills, and I wouldn't, that would be a pretty fun match, I think, going against him. And I really think that he's taking, HCW and KCW by storm, even though he may not realize it, that the going against, like, what's his name? Ed. I can't think of his name.
Yeah.
I was like, he's really painful to watch. That guy is really painful to watch do a promo, and I was like, that was painful because I watched Icarus attack, this guy, and I went to watch his Ed's promo. I don't understand why he's a champion.
Who?
And the egg guy was.
I don't even know who he is, and I feel bad about it. But hey, I mean, it just shows you how much.
You can get with the program there, James.
Well,
yeah.
The way I've operated, and this is not to sound arrogant or cocky. This is, if I watch the first 5 or 10 seconds of someone's promo and it doesn't catch my attention, I'm bored and I move on. I don't. Maybe it's a jerk thing to do. But nobody's like, hey, or I wasn't tagged, or nobody said, James, go watch this. I mean, that'd be a different story. But if I'm just going through it myself and I come across it and I'm like, who the fuck is this guy? No disrespect, whoever might be watching this that I don't know. But it's just like, okay, you're not getting my attention. I move on. Now, like Icarus, I know Icarus, and I've known Icarus before all of this, even before he came into PWF, because he had his issues with NGT, and then he reached out to me. I don't know if any of y'all remember that. And we had a little scuffle, but it was just for fun. And I earned his respect. He earned my respect. And that's why we went from there. And now look at him. He's He's taken off, like you said.
Yeah.
KCW.
But I really think they should. And that's why my original comment when we first started this was, the new people if they aren't really fluid with their promos, they should write them down and rehearse them.
Mm-hmm.
There's been millions of times I've cut a promo, then I didn't like the way I did something there or said a certain word, so I went back and redid it. And 9 times out of 10, it wasn't the original promo. I completely went different with it,
Yeah.
and I don't know how many times that's happened with me.
Yeah,
Just because I didn't think maybe the beginning sucked, or I said a certain word in the middle. I'm just like, no, that don't make sense. So I rewind it back and do it again.
But TikTok took away my following page, so I can't just go to my following page and watch whoever. Now it's whoever pops up because all I have is a For You page.
There. Welcome to the stream for the first time. It is the PWF World Heavyweight Champion. If he load up, Mr. Joey Knight Jr.
All right, now I can hear y'all.
Can you
Yeah,
hear?
we can hear. Okay, there you are. There's your face.
There's his face.
I saw everyone in, so I figured I might as well join as well.
There you go. Loki disappeared. I don't know what happened to him.
Well, he was here. He is here. Actually, it says he's here in the thing, but I don't see his video. I don't know if he's having problems with the video or what. Just need to get better connection. Outlaw actually already talking trash. Trust me, from a person who went one-on-one multiple times with him, Buddha Icarus would eat you up and spit you out.
Well, I've never had that honor of going up against him, so
always got to talk.
He's got to promote his HCW.
Yeah,
he's got to promote it. That's his world champ.
Joey Knight Jr., welcome to the Nemesis Sessions for the first time. So I want to thank you for coming here. I know you wanted to come in here, so you must have something on your mind you'd like to talk about or speak or ask any questions you want to Buddha or whatnot. What brings you in today?
I mean, I just figured because I saw Center passing through, I saw Peter passing through, Low-Key was trying to join. So I figured, as the very last ever PWF World Heavyweight Champion, I figured I might as well join this little PWF panel we got going on here.
We just allowed you to hold that title. We didn't know that the company was going to shut down for a little bit.
Listen, I'm doing this like Walter or Gunther, as he is now. The brand may have stopped, but the title reign's still going.
Hey.
Or as Peter alluded to earlier, Rhino just kept the damn ECW TV title for 20 years and then lost it to Matt Cardona.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll be world champion for 20 years and then I'll relaunch PWF and then I'll lose it to whoever. I'll lose it to 60, 50-year-old James Taylor on the first night. That's what we'll do.
There we go.
Wow. Wow.
Like this. But since you won the world title, Joey, everything happened the way it did. Everything still happens. It's not. Everybody's rumoring, PWF's dead. PWF's dead. Fuck all that. I'm saying it right now. Fuck all that. I don't know why people are thinking it's dead. Just because it hasn't started up, it doesn't mean that it's not ever going to come back. You never know. So with that being said, when it comes back, are you going to be prepared to get back on the road and defend that championship?
Oh, absolutely. I'm just waiting because, I don't want to say I'm fully done because, like Boo said earlier, he's fully satisfied with everything he did in promo wrestling. I felt like I was just getting started as PWF ended and just as I won the world title. I felt like I was just getting started, so I'm not completely satisfied with everything.
But watching you grow as a promo artist, because we were there from the beginning, and you always had that eye on the national championship. It wasn't anything you wanted more than that.
I mean, yeah. I mean, of course, I wanted the top belts, and at the time it was the PCW world title and then the national championship. And then when PWF became a thing, it was the Universal and the PWF Championship. So, of course, I always wanted the top spot. And when I finally won it, when I cashed in the Money in the Bank briefcase, that's when I truly felt I was most ready in that moment. Like, ever since I lost the U.S. title to Irish at PCW Mania, from then onward, I felt like I was ready. And I was trying to prove myself every promo that I deserve to be the world champion, at least in my head.
That's true.
Yeah.
And a lot of us here, Peter included, we felt that you did deserve to be world champion, and it was your time. And unfortunately, the circumstances are what they are. But you're definitely up there. Wouldn't you agree, Peter?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so when PWF comes back, I'm ready for Peter. I'm ready for Buddha. I'm ready for whoever wants to join, especially Peter and Buddha, because I got to face Peter in that triple threat when I cashed in the Money in Bank. It went from 101 to triple threat. And then I got to face Buddha in the 6-man Hell in a Cell. But I've never had a proper one-on-one with either of them.
Was there anything you were needing to say, Peter? I got you a little.
I gotta go to work, but I'll be listening to you guys.
Uh-huh.
Right.
I'll let Buddha have the spotlight. I'll let him have it.
Thank you.
He's got to go back to his hellhole known as Walmart.
There he is, and he said it. That's funny. That's funny.
Hey, listen, I work there too. It's a hellhole.
I can only imagine. So Buddha, did you have any matches? I can't remember every single match there was. Did you and Joey ever have any matches together?
None besides that 6-man Hell in a Cell.
Okay.
And yeah, I lost that. I lost that one.
I got to every major top star in PCW/PWF because I got to face Draquan. I faced the Nemesis. I faced Lethal Injection, Irish. I faced all these guys one-on-one. But Buddha and Peter, those were the two that I just never got to cross paths with one-on-one the entire time.
That's because we just believed that you weren't ready for us.
Oh. Gotta talk some trash. Irish Outlaw's talking shit to you though. Joey, brother, Joey's talking. I'm gonna go take a shit. And he said, "Oh, the man is Carl Jr. I mean Joey Knight Jr."
Wow.
So what's your opinion of Irish Outlaw, Joey Knight?
I mean, Irish? Oh, Lord. So, Irish, as much as all of us on this panel would hate to say it, Irish is good at what he does. He is good at the promo game. But boy, oh boy, and maybe it's because he's Irish, but boy, is he annoying.
Who do you think's more annoying?
Him.
Who do you think's more annoying, him or Center?
Irish.
Irish, really?
Yes.
Interesting.
Dinner is more of the enjoyable annoying. Like, he's annoying, but you're glad he's there. Irish, you just want him to leave. Irish is the guy that always acts like he's 12 pints deep at the bar, and you're just like, go home. Go home, man. Sleep.
Did you see what he said? He said, again, Joey Knight will have his glorified matches with Peter, Buddha, and then Irish Outlaw will come and literally rip the world title from him faster than I did the U.S. title and make Joey my bitch. Oh, my God. Hey, I think he's trying to get something out of you, man.
Honestly,
maybe.
I think that's a challenge. I think you should head over to HCW or KCW and just put him out of his misery.
He said, "Thanks for the compliment, Cupcake." Irish just don't like you, apparently. I'd really like to know why. You must have got under his skin when you beat him, huh?
Well, that's the thing. I've never beaten Irish.
You've never beaten Irish. Okay.
We've had 2 one-on-one matches and he won both. So, but
you're due yours,
huh?
You're due one then.
Maybe, but who knows? Yeah. I don't know what Irish's deal is. I don't know. Maybe because he's a little salty about the fact that even though yes, he did beat me twice for the U.S. title, no one ever associates him with the U.S. title.
they remember you as a
Yes,
Oh,
because I have the most successful title defenses of the U.S. title in PWF history.
that's true. That's true. Yes, you
One
did.
of, one of them being old Nemesis James Taylor over here.
I was the national champion at the time, and got into you and went to face you, and then Buddha decided to interrupt us because we had our beaten. What was that like for you?
What was it like facing you?
No, what was it like being able to get that? Well, yeah, what was it like facing you? Then
So,
get the
uh,
victory through that interference.
so as far as facing you, I felt that was going to be my first true test as far as being in the like upper main event scene full time, because I fought Draquan and Lethal Injection previously before you, but that's when I was still trying to find my way, figure out who and what Joey Knight Jr. is. And then when I won the US title, I kind of felt, okay, this is who and this is what Joey Knight Jr. is. And you were kind of my first major test into the new Joey Knight Jr. So honestly, it was more likely I took it as a test on where my standing is. If I failed, then Joey Knight Jr. probably wouldn't be U.S. champion much longer after that, and Joey would end up where he ended up. But if I succeeded and I kept up with you, word for word, promo for promo, then I was going to be fine.
Well, standing toe to toe to a wordsmith like like James, I mean that's a testament on your abilities. So
Because when I think of PWF, I think of the standard bearers being, you know, the Nemesis, Peter, Draquan, Buddha, and Lethal. Those are, to me, the standard bearers when it comes to PWF and promo wrestling as a whole.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you. Like I said at the beginning, I never thought anyone, I didn't think of myself as that good of a promo. I was like, oh, I'm okay,
Everybody has different styles, bro, and
Yeah.
that's what made you unique. You were very unique with your style, and that's why I think you got over well with a lot of others. You had your rivalry with me, and not to toot my own horn, but I tried to do what I could to build you up. And when I built you up and you beat me, you just took off. Everybody just sees you as one of the top cream of the crops. I
Yeah.
mean, said it right there, and a lot of people have said it, and it's because it's the truth. It's facts, and that's what I did as a whole. I never was trying to go after titles. If you notice that, I wasn't trying to always win. I never won a PWF title. It wasn't that I didn't want to. Trust me, yeah, I'd like to in my own company, but I wanted to give that shine, that spotlight to all of you, and all of you have shined and had the great rivalries that y'all had, and look at what y'all become.
Yeah.
Respected and all that good shit. And
I
it's
mean,
just
I'll never forget the first week, the first show that I was on in PCW. I had two matches, and one was one where you called someone out. Just I'll take anyone in backstage, and I was like, well, fuck it. I don't have a match besides, I didn't at that time. I didn't think I had a match, but I had the 10-man battle royal that all the newbies were in for PCW with Peter and Lethal and A1 and all those guys. And Drake was like, "Are you crazy? You've got a match and you're accepting Nemesis challenge?" I was like, "Why not?" So I lost two matches that night, but I was the first ever to debut with two matches.
my bad. But hey, it tested
Yeah, but
what it's about. And Joey. So, other than Buddha, is there any other people, whether you face them once or not, is there anybody that you would like to have a match with, whether it be Ian or somebody you haven't had a match with that you would like to have a match with?
So outside of Peter and Buddha, I really feel like I would want, as far as, recycling people, I want to do one more with Draquan, Lethal, because I faced them early on in my career, and I wasn't where I was at, when PWF closed down for right now. So where Joey Knight Jr. was when I first faced them, and where Joey Knight Jr. was at whenever he became world champion, are two completely different people. And I never got the opportunity to face Draquan or Lethal, after I was beginning to up my game. So them two for sure are the top of my list, along with Buddha and Peter. And, maybe one more round with the Nemesis. No interference from Buddha, nothing like that. Because, I still have to repay you because, after I rolled you up, got the 1-2-3, your little sneaky ass hit me with a stunner after the fact. So I owe you one for that.
I'm owed a receipt, aren't I? Hey, that would be awesome to do. Let's see. Irish Outlaws obviously trying to get my attention to tell you that Joey would get ate up in HW, but hey, if you want the doors open. Then he said that's if Joey has particular fortitude to come to the land of hardcore. He said Joey lacks intensity. And then lastly, he said, all seriousness, you guys are still my brothers. Any words, Mr. Knight?
As far as a jump over the HCW, that's the I feel such loyalty to PWF. I've tried going to other promotions a couple of times, and I don't know. I just only feel like working for the legacies of PCW/PWF, because ultimately PWF goes into the legacy of PCW, and PWF, whether it stays PWF or it's named something else, I just want to work for that because I feel loyal to that, and it just feels right.
That's right.
Like, I know who I'm working with when it comes to PWF. I don't know who I'd be working with when it comes to these other promo leagues out there. So I'd rather stay with the devil I know versus the devil I don't know. I'd rather stay with the devil I know.
Respect.
But I have been keeping up with everyone who has moved forward, like Irish and all these other guys. Maniac, I have kept up with them, have been watching their stuff. Love it. I'm glad everyone else is enjoying themselves. But for me, I'm enjoying just sitting back, looking back at everything as a fan again, rather than being inside of it.
Kind of like Buddha. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm enjoying retirement, unless someone calls me out. So, in a promo, and then I can, swing back. I am enjoying retirement because some of these promos I'm watching are kind of funny, and some of them are really good. And really, just let them do it because I've already had my time.
There it is. There it is. See, every time I hear from you guys, it makes me want to do more with it and try and do my best to bring it back. Life obviously happens. Things go away. You got other things you got to tend to with hobbies that are hard to do. Like I was doing the podcast for a good two a day, but I was here on COVID. Uh, I couldn't go to work because of COVID situations, and now I went back to work this past week. Everything was good there, but COVID stuff crazy. Well, now I got the weekend, so it looks like I'm gonna be doing these on the weekend. If I could do it during the weeknights, I'll try to get here. But hear y'all talk about that, it makes me want to do that. Now, first time I want to say this so everybody could hear it, the whole promo league, wrestling, whatever. I want to be a part of PWF, but I'm considering it, deeply considering it. Not saying it's going to happen before all the rumors get thrown out in them other leagues. I'm considering selling it or giving it to somebody who I don't know yet who, but who would want to take it the way that I've done it and keep it the exact same way, but work it and put it together since I can't. But I'll be part owner, step back, no ifs, ands, or buts. The contract would read that no matter what you think, if you can't handle it, you cannot vote James Taylor out. You can't kick James Taylor out. I am still not sole owner. I'd be part owner of PWF and give it to somebody who would have the passion to run it like I did and give you guys the same spotlight I did. and continue. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Now that I've said that, I'd like to hear y'all's opinions on that matter and what you think. And don't bullshit me, be straight real. Do you think that's a dumb idea? You think it'd be interesting? You think it'd be pretty good?
Well,
Something.
with the amount of times that it's been brought up, how people would come back if PWF came back, um, and the fact that you don't really have time to do it, if you became a silent partner in it, that it'd probably be the best thing, if we really want to bring it back.
Yeah.
I
So.
feel because we've tried similar things in the past with PWF/PCW, it has to be someone that we can
Trust.
really trust. It has to be someone like a Buddha or Peter, someone like that.
Exactly. And
That's the only way I feel comfortable with it.
that's exactly how I feel. And I've got some TBW guys that are wanting to practice promos, not a whole bunch of them, just train. Not saying they're going to do promos and compete. They might. I got some that do want to. And then I got you guys, and I got Joey Knight, who is the world champion. And respectfully, I believe you a good world title run. What I want to do too, if it was to return, big word if, is the days from the date you won it, Joey, it would still continue that you've held it that whole time. Doesn't matter if you haven't defended it, you've held it that whole time. So you are officially actually the longest reigning PWF World's Heavyweight Champion right now. It's a matter on who's going to take it from you. But can Joey Knight continue to defend it when he starts up? That would be the question.
I mean, honestly, just like you could tell me, hey, PWF starting back tomorrow, and I'll be right back into it like I was before. So you ain't got to worry about if Joey Knight Jr. is going to make the time. You just got to tell me when it's happening.
Well, then that's what it is. You would start out continuing as the world champion, and people would go from there and continue in their roles with whatever they wanted. As far as the person that's going to be in charge, I'm part owner. I'm not going to have the final say so when it comes to matches. The only thing I ask to be kind of part of would be like helping new people and maybe even the world title picture if need be. But I want it to be done right. And if for any reason it's not done right, I want you guys to tell me, hey, I don't feel this is kind of right. What can we do? And we'll work. But to anybody listening, whether it be you guys or anybody out in the, PWF universe network, if you're interested, contact me, DM me, and let's talk some business. But I really believe that we should do this because I know a lot of you guys are hungry and want it to come back, and I'm getting pushed left and right all the time. You know what I mean?
But I mean, Center Callum, whatever you want to call him, he's said on many occasions that he would gladly kick your ass to take over PWF.
Who?
Center.
Motherfucker. Irish, so there is no question of who we already know who Irish fucking outlaw. I mean, something about you and him or something about PWF. I don't. Okay. So Buddha, PWF opens its doors tomorrow. Like I said, would you come out of retirement or would you be like that legend? Because there is going to be a PWF Hall of Fame coming very soon, and there is going to be a kind of like PWF award show that I've been working on. I've got stuff written down, and I want to bring it together. What would you
I
think
would
of?
I would take a Legends contract and take more of a role of like, a trainer.
There you go.
I mean, I may come for a couple matches here or there, but other than that, I wouldn't be full time.
That'd be interesting, kind of like a Goldberg or something like that.
Buddha, Buddha, Buddha.
In case some people don't know, Vamtrix right here is Leech, and he's saying, "What's up?"
Word, Leech.
Ah,
No, I was thinking more of along the lines of William Regal, but if you want to say Goldberg, yeah.
There it is. There it is.
I mean, he's an Okie.
It would be interesting. Joey, because I asked Buddha this a little bit ago. He's been too busy to watch some of it. But have you watched any? I'm just messing with you, man. Have you gotten to watch any of the TBW stuff? If so, any of it interest you, and what has?
so I've specifically been watching just your stuff at the moment because
Respectable.
it is so hard to watch all the wrestling content that you want to watch that's out there.
Yeah.
So right now I'm just strictly watching like when I know you're on TBW and I watch your stuff.
Yeah.
But it does interest me. And now that I have had that first match under my belt, it is interesting to, maybe one day make the trip up to good old Northern Tennessee and debut Joey Knight Jr. again for real.
Man. Joey Knight Jr. get in the ring with James Taylor, or is there anybody else in TBW that maybe has your attention?
I mean, of course, why not, tickle my fancy a little bit and make Joey Knight versus the Nemesis happen in real life.
There it
But,
is.
just get in there and see, what it really boils down to is the fact that it is 8.5, 9 hour drive for me one way. And then, coming back. So it would have to be a deal of like, if I was going to do it, I would want to be on every single week, if not at the very least every other week.
Yeah.
So it has to be a situation of I tape everything I do in one session, so that way I can make one trip a month, or at least try to.
That's the cool thing about it. They do pre-recorded segments. So, like, I would go and I'd film 2 or 3 things, and then it'd be on 2 or 3 shows. It's like if I was there every week. Don't tell anybody. I'm just kidding.
Hey, brother.
Have Buddha say War Games.
War Games?
I don't know. He said War Games. Oh, no. Maybe he's talking about that War Games type match that we had where you were like dominating everybody. You know what? That is a good question. So let's talk about that night. What was that night like for you, being you were in there just beating everybody's ass?
Well, considering I had something to prove, because that match actually ended my losing streak. That match was what set me over to go on for the national championship.
And then
So
you ended up going into the Rumble and winning it.
yeah, exactly. And I had something to prove to myself and to everyone else that I wasn't a loser. So I decided to whip everyone's ass from start to finish.
That was probably one of the funnest matches I ever wrote before I did the game thing. That writing stuff is really hard to do, and a lot of people, when they don't understand it until they do it. It's fun doing a couple of them, but when you start seeing the details that you put into it, and you get the fans that read it, they're like, "Man, you wrote my match so awesomely. Can you write my match? Can you write my match? Can you write?" I'm like, Jesus Christ, I can't write all your fucking matches. It gets to be a lot, and I think some people in the promo world and some of these Discord servers are understanding that. And that's why I went with the game, and I believe doing the game, y'all enjoyed that. At least I hope
Yeah.
y'all enjoyed it. Tell me y'all's. Tell me.
Yeah, I actually liked both ways, but the game, you know, the game when edited was amazing because it actually told how we showed us instead of imagining what was happening, it showed us what was happening. So it was like really watching an episode of maybe like Raw or something.
What about you, Joey?
Yeah, I enjoyed both ways as well. I like the video game aspect of it because it got to show everyone outside of the Discord server and outside the people who may see our TikTok videos what PWF was and what was going on. Because when you limit things to writing, as you know, I know some people prefer writing over the video game thing. Even if you prefer it, it's only limited to that bubble inside the Discord chat, and then whoever sees a promo about, like, let's say I beat Buddha, and it's written down in the Discord server. Here's the match, here's how it happened, and everything. Joey Knight beats Buddha. The only people who are going to know about it are the people in the Discord server and the people who may watch my TikTok promo the day after me talking about beating Buddha.
Yeah.
So when you put it in that YouTube world, it reaches a larger audience.
Do you think that's what helped PWF kind of gain the attention and the popularity that it did get, was because it was shared with the rest of the world on YouTube?
Yeah, because that's the next logical step in EFED evolution. You went from EFEDs where you were, did everything text based. Then you went to, of course, we went to TikTok, and you got the video promos. So, and then we kind of meshed them together with the video promos with the written out text. So the next the next evolutionary step would be to do the game, which is what you did.
Right.
So, and I think that just brought out a new evolution of promo wrestling.
Nice. That was my goal, and it got a lot of attention. Not a whole super load, which I would have liked, but I knew it was building. And I got some of my own subscribers on YouTube have asked me, "Hey, what's up with PWF? Is PWF coming back?" And instead, they watch my TBW stuff, and they're all like, "Okay, cool. We get to see something." And then they ask, "Hey, where can I see these other matches with these other guys for real? I want to see too." And
Now there is the next evolutionary step from there is what this podcast company that I listen to. They have several different podcasts. They're called Rooster Teeth, but they started a wrestling show on YouTube where they take elements from the game and then they do live action where they're doing stuff as well. Like they build themselves in the game and then they'll film themselves in real life doing stuff outside the ring, like putting someone through a table or something.
yeah,
So
might be something to do.
Now, the real next evolution step is for one of us to win the lottery, and we make PWF a real life Fed,
Yeah,
like the
that-
Deadlock podcast did with DPW.
I would want to run a thing kind of like PWF/TBW, because I've brought my presence and people, my fan base from PWF and you guys, as an extra pair of eyes to the TBW universe, and I've helped them a little bit grow. They're slowly growing. That just for their subscribers alone, they've got over 2,000 subscribers on YouTube, and every show that we post, that they post, gets over 1,000 to 3,000 views a show. And I'm not saying it's all me. No, these guys are great. They're fun. It's a fun show to watch, and I do recommend it. You can ask Peter. He's a fan of it, and he watches it now. And I got him and Sinners watching it, and they're wanting to come to TBW just because of it, not just because of me, but to face some of the other guys that they want to work with, which is interesting. But hey, it is what it is. Peter, this year feels like a good year for promo/backyard wrestling. Maybe. Vamtrix or Leech wants to know what his thoughts on Stark. I don't know. Explain to who's this Gunther Stark?
Okay, so do you know who Walter is, Nemesis?
I don't even know who Walter is.
Okay, so Walter was a UK-based wrestler. He was one of the biggest indie stars in the world. Got signed to WWE, went to the NXT UK brand, ended Pete Dunne's longest title reign in NXT UK. Then he went on to have the longest reign in history, and he lost the title, stayed at NXT UK for a few more months, got moved over to NXT, and the first thing they do is they change his name to Gunther Stark rather than Walter.
Really? Why'd they do that?
Okay, so, well, instead of it being, at first, it was going to be Gunther Stark, but then people found out, oh, wait, Gunther Stark is the name of a Nazi U-boat commander from World War II.
Oh,
So
man.
everyone got upset about that. So they just went with Gunther rather than Gunther Stark. And I mean, for me, I'm not upset about necessarily the Nazi ties to it. Like, I mean, Gunther is I mean, to me, it's a silly name, but it's whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But I would not prefer someone who, like, it's different when you change Andrade Almas to just Andrade, but it's a completely different thing if you change somebody's name who already exists in your WWE universe and you
Right.
just give them a completely different name off the wall.
Why
Without no.
that doesn't make sense on why they would actually change someone who's already established as a character and they're successful at it.
Right.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense to me on that end. Like, nothing was wrong with the name Walters. So, like, I really don't understand. I mean, at the end of the day, he's still going to be the same badass who makes people bleed just from one chop to the chest. Like Nemesis, I recommend, if you could find a Walter chops people compilation video on YouTube, I recommend watching it. He gives the most lethal chops in the wrestling business.
Why?
I mean, that's basically his thing. Like,
Okay, that's what he's known for.
yeah, like he literally caves people's chest in just from one singular chop. Like, you gotta find his stuff. You just gotta watch him chop the shit out of people. It's fun.
Damn. I listened to excuse me, I listen to Steve Austin's podcast all the time. Obviously, but he talked about, somebody asked him what was Ric Flair's chops like and who gave the roughest chops in the business. And it looked like it'd be like Flair, right? He said Ric Flair is actually, he's the greatest at doing the chops, but his chops never hurt. And he doesn't have to make it hurt. He's Ric Flair and he does what he does to make it look authentic, make it look the greatest that it does. Where you get a lot of these guys that go in and they want to kill somebody by doing a real chop to them, when that's not really what it's about, I guess. I don't know. But and I've seen that firsthand, even in my experience in the wrestling world. For instance, I could take you back for a quick second. When I debuted at Backyard Chaos for TBW, Anthony Steele went against Russell Cooper in their I Quit match. Anthony was lighting him up with some chops, and at the end of the match, when we quit filming, he raised his shirt. His shirt was cut and beat up and beat red, and he's like, "I'm all right," and then he went on and left. But it's like, I don't do that when I give chops. And when I went against Gage Flair, Gage chopped me, and he just did normal chops, like if Ric Flair did, and that was interesting, to see that. Uh, so hey, I don't know if any of y'all have ever actually been chopped yet, but it just depends, I guess, who has chopped you.
No, I've been DDT'd on DDT'd on my head before and knocked out, but
Oh.
not chopped. So,
Joey, tell us, and then I want to ask you, Buddha. Joey, tell us about your first time going into a wrestling ring, what that was like for you, and were you like a kid at a candy store? Was it like what was it like for you? Were you nervous? Were you scared? Were you just everything in between?
I was nervous at first, but then when I finally got in there, I don't know what it was, but it just felt natural to me to be in there. Because I mean, I have been a lifelong fan. The first time I actually got in the ring was I want to say 2015 or 16. So I was still in high school. It was my senior year of high school. And a guy had opened up a training school down there. His main credentials is that, he was an enhancement guy in WCCW back in the Sportatorium days.
Nice.
So he got to wrestle like the Von Erichs and the Freebirds and like guys like that, when he was in his 20s. And now him and his crew have kind of like built up a couple of promotions down here in the East Texas area, like Texarkana, Ashdown, Arkansas, places like that. So they've kind of started building up a couple of promotions around here, and they opened up the training school. And me and my buddy were the first two students in there. We were the only 2 students. The school only lasted 2 weeks because the guy straight up told us I wasn't gonna make this school to make money. If I make a break even, I would have kept training y'all. But I'm not gonna ask y'all to pay me $450 a month between the 2 of y'all, so I could pay the lease on this building every month.
Damn.
So the school only lasted about 2 weeks because we were the only 2 guys in there. But I loved every single second of it, even though when I woke up the next morning, I could barely move my body. Because I remember the very first, wrestling session workout I had, it was on a Tuesday night. And then I went to school Wednesday the next morning, and Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays were our weightlifting day.
Oh, man.
So I woke up, I could not feel my entire body. It was hard for me to get out of bed. Every step I took, I was sore, whether it was my back, my knees, or all over my leg. I felt burning sensation. And then I get under the squat rack, and my max at the time on squat was like 525, 530 at the time. So my starting set of 10 reps in our little booklet that our coach gave us, I had to squat like 250 10 times, and I couldn't even do it 3 times without like damn near killing myself.
Man, what
hurting.
Shit, Buddha. What about you? Have you ever been in a wrestling ring, or even just had fun doing a practice wrestling match with anybody other than that DDT?
I've never been in a wrestling ring. Now, my buddy Trevor, who, everyone probably remembers back in PCW days, Madman. He was my buddy Trevor. We met at this amusement park, Frontier City in Oklahoma City. We both worked there, and we wanted to create our own wrestling, federation, and we wanted to break into the streaming area. This was back in 2001 that we decided that we wanted to do this. We were looking for places to get to work and stuff like that. Well, whenever it was slow in our second season, we worked at games across from each other at this amusement park. He worked a ladder climb, and it was, had this nice big mat that we've launched people off of and nearly killed them. And, but he decided he wanted to DDT me, and it wasn't completely filled up. And I went all the way down to the 2x4s at the bottom and knocked me out. I don't remember, the next thing I remember after it was my girlfriend saying, "You killed him! You killed him!" But
dang. Christopher Steele is saying, "I'd kick your butt in a real wrestling match, Joey."
Oh.
Notice he said that to you and not me.
Well, I think what Chris needs to learn and know is that what happened in PWF would happen in real life. So if TBW or if James Taylor in real life PWF ever wants to book it, I'm down for it.
There it
he
is.
couldn't take my Money in the Bank briefcase. He damn sure won't be able to take the world title from me once PWF comes back full and running. So I don't know what you think real life's going to have for you, Mr. Steele.
Snap, snap, snap. Well, what about, okay, so you see TBW and y'all seen at least my stuff. Do you see that I'm in a match against Anthony Steele?
Yes.
And it is a street fight.
yeah,
What's y'all's predictions on that match, and how do you think it's going to look? What are y'all expecting to see at least?
I'm expecting a double knockout.
Double knockout. Okay.
I gotta go with the man that writes my paychecks every week, and that's the Nemesis.
You good. I appreciate it though. Have y'all seen my promo pack or my video package between me and him? And if so, what's y'all's thoughts on seeing like the story we put together?
I think is it pulls a lot of drama into the match coming up. So yes, I have seen it. It's really good. You really put it together well. So.
Yeah, I saw it too. Like every time I just watch something that either Nemesis or somebody else from the old PWF and PCW discords. Anytime I see any of y'all make something, I'm just like, Damn, I wish I had that technology talent. Cause like, cause like Nemesis, like you remember a few months ago when you were telling me like how to work the PlayStation live stream stuff and everything and all that. I
Yep.
still ain't figured it out. I still ain't figured out how to get the sound to come through.
Oh my goodness. I'll have to say.
That's how, despite me being like basically a baby compared to everyone else in the PWF chat, despite me being like a nice young 24 years old, I am very tech I'm
Technical
very
savvy. You're not technical savvy.
I'm
Uh,
not tech savvy
yeah.
whatsoever.
And you figured your age you should be because your generation is all about it. See, my
Yeah,
generation
but here's the
shouldn't
crazy
be.
thing.
Buddhists shouldn't be.
A lot of the same things that kids my age grew up with, like LimeWire and things like that, I never used. I never used LimeWire or anything like that because I didn't have internet as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have internet as a kid. I didn't
Yeah,
have internet. I didn't have internet until I went to college.
Same.
it is.
I never had Wi-Fi until I went to college.
It wasn't Wi-Fi. It was dial-up. I had to wait for someone to get off the phone, and
Yep.
then I had to listen to dee, doo, dee,
I
dee, for
love
like
that
5
sound.
minutes.
And the shit was slow to load a
Yeah.
web page. You click on one page depending on your signal. My signal was so bad I literally was waiting maybe 5, almost 10 minutes just for the next page to load.
Yeah. I mean,
Something else I wish I would have learned about whenever I was a kid growing up. I wish I would have known about the black box to get all those free pay-per-views and everything that apparently everyone else was doing when I was a kid.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Peter, if you're hearing this, he said, "Isn't TBW season finale tonight?" Unfortunately, no, and they didn't announce it because they were upset that what has happened. So there's this big ice storm that came through recently. I'm sure some of y'all got it, at least in the Alabama and Tennessee area. The ring was frozen, and I mean frozen. If we would have went out there to wrestle, it would have been like taking bumps on solid ass concrete, and there was nothing we could do. So they went out and we worked on the ring and stuff. So we're aiming for next weekend as long as the weather stays decent, and if it's at least in the 40s and there's no ice, plus the ring is being rebuilt anyways. It's gonna have a little bit of a new look, and it's gonna be better. So that way, we're not putting a half-ass show for everybody. We're gonna put on a really good A+ show this time. You know what I mean? Um. So unfortunately, I'm sorry, Peter, to answer your question. So no. Steele says I'd kick your butt in a real wrestling match, Joey. You can get some too, Nemesis. Well, one, learn to spell two. It's T-O, not T-W-O, unless you want two Nemesis. I got to talk some shit. I accept it. Yes, I will take that PWF heavyweight title if I decide to come back to PWF. If. Well,
mm,
That's a lot of ifs. That shows you're
yeah.
not very confident.
uh-huh. Leach is saying I use smoke signals. Okay.
Like smoke signals for what?
To communicate, that was his internet.
He used smoke signals. I used a flare gun.
I mean, Leach is the only one older than me, so
Hey, if you ever think about it, think about back in the day, back in the old days, even when there was just a telephone, in a way they did have text messaging. It was called Morse code.
yeah,
In a way, it's like a text message.
true.
Let's see. Here we go. Somebody's got to talk shit, don't they? Christopher Steele said, yes, dial up Buddha because you're a dinosaur. We all know.
Once again, I wasn't the oldest one in the company, but yes, I am old.
I don't really think
you
he
know,
has much to say. I think he's an old fart himself. Not that that's a
I,
bad thing. Hell, I'm 37. You know.
I'm 45. I'll be 46 in May. For any of y'all who want to get me, birthday gifts, I've got 4 months, so there you go.
There you go.
Yeah,
There you
I
go.
turned 25 in July, so if anyone wants to hit up that Cash App of mine, you're more than welcome to.
Hashtag birthday, PWF birthdays. But James Taylor's birthday is April 25th. I'm turning 38. Anybody wants to hit me up? Vamtrick saying, let's be honest. If I was properly trained in a ring, I'd tower above all of you.
Well, no shit. You're 6'9".
Wait,
Look
that
here,
shoots
Osmos.
6'9"?
He's
What?
fucking tall. He's like 6'5". Regardless, regardless, uh, even if you were properly trained, it doesn't matter how tall you are. I'd take your legs out and I'd knock your ass out. That's the secret to a redwood. You chop it down. Chop it down. Peter Richards said, shit, I had to buy my own cell phone when I was 17. Well, look at you, kid. I didn't get my first cell phone until I was 20, and I had to buy it myself. And that was when the camera phone came out, when the flip phone with the camera on it. It was
My
2004.
Yeah, I remember that was my first phone. So we're talking 2012. I only got the phone because I was playing football, so I had to stay after school. So my mom needed me to text her whenever I got out of practice. And here's how old the phone was compared to the times we were in 2012. Everyone was having like the very first smartphones and everything in my class. Meanwhile, I'm sitting over here with a flip phone that only has $5 a month worth of texting and phone call. It took 10
Wow.
cents for every
my
text
I
and
was
25
24
cents
when
for
I
every
first got
I
my
spoke
first
on
cell
the phone.
phone. I was 24. It was a Samsung flip phone. There was no camera on it, so I couldn't take pictures. And of course, you had to. It wasn't like you had a keyboard. If you wanted to text someone, you had to go 1, 2, 3, 4. Ah,
Yep.
damn it!
Yep.
One, two,
That
three,
was
four.
how mine was.
Do you remember the old game, Snake game on there with the little
Yeah.
snake? I liked that. I thought that was cool. Peter's got a good question for you, Buddha. He said, if Buddha could change one thing about his run in PCW, PWF, what would he change? Good question.
If I could change one thing, um, I would probably have. Actually, I don't think I would change anything because it was a pretty decent run. I liked it. Um, that's hard. That's a hard question, though. I mean, would I change something? Um,
It's okay if not.
yeah, I'm pretty happy with the way it was. So,
You're content with your career and how it's gone.
yeah.
That's fine. What about you, Joey?
I mean, only thing I can really think of it. I mean, I felt like everything in my career from PCW and PWF meant something because it eventually got me to where I'm at. But if I could have changed one thing, I felt the initial character of Joe Knight Jr. where I did videos where I talked about losing and how there would be punishment for losing. And after my first loss, after my first match, you know, I acted as if I got a tattoo gun and tattooed a mark on my arm because I lost.
Right.
So initially, when the first loss happened, I'm like, okay, well, at least it introduced what avoid the mark meant. I'm gonna tattoo a mark on myself every time I lose. But then I kept losing and losing and losing. I went like on a 5 or 6 match losing streak at the very beginning. So then me marking myself in sense didn't mean anything since it wasn't apparently motivating me enough to win. So if that's one regret I have from PCW/PWF, it's that the original version of the Joey character didn't really take off or get to do what I was hoping for it to do, because I felt like it had an interesting concept. Crazed man who, because of the actions of his father, would mark himself with a tattoo gun every time he lost, as like a sick form of motivation to not lose.
Dang.
But when you
No,
lose,
it would have been cool if you actually really did do that on camera during
okay,
the promo.
so the promo that I did after my first loss, basically what I did to avoid like actually tattooing myself, because I couldn't go that far for it. To avoid doing the actual tattoo, what I did was I found a head, some hair clippers, So I turned it on and I pressed it on the wooden table that we had in the dining room to, so it could hear it over the phone and it sounded like a tattoo gun going off. And then I just had a black pen and I wrote a mark on my arm and then I showed it on the camera to act as if I tattooed myself. But yeah, if I do have one regret, it's not getting to fully show and expose the original Joe Knight Jr. concept to the promo leaks. I felt like it was an interesting character. It had a concept, but when your whole purpose and your whole gimmick is to avoid losing, don't mark yourself, and you lose 6 matches in a row.
Yeah.
By that point, who cares if you mark yourself or not?
Understandable. Well, we're gonna get close to wrapping this up. Well, we're gonna ask some questions. A few more questions. Buddha, is there anything that you're interested in asking or saying to Joey Knight or anybody in the universe?
Yeah, I've heard everyone else's like dream match. What is your dream match, Joey?
Like from a promo standpoint, or just like real life WWE or TNA type thing?
Real life WWE TNA stuff.
Okay. I'm trying to think because especially with the open door concept we began the past year with Impact and New Japan and AEW, a lot of those matches have been happening. So if I could have one, damn. Okay, so from a WWE aspect, one match that we haven't gotten yet that we don't have much time left yet, and for two, I really want to see AJ Styles and Edge step in the ring against each other.
Who?
AJ Styles and Edge. I really want to see those two guys go against each other one-on-one.
Okay.
We haven't gotten it yet, and there's not a whole lot of time left to do it. So
yeah, considering this is probably going to be Edge's last year, and he's tagging with Beth right now, so in Royal Rumble.
Let's reiterate on that question. And Joey Knight, as you want to be a wrestler, whether it be any type of wrestling, who would your dream opponent be if you were to step into the ring with anybody? Whether it be me, whether it be Edge or AJ Styles, do you have like a list of guys or a dream, like at least one match you would love to have?
Okay, so from a reasonable standpoint, if I do continue the path of pro wrestling and everything, there's a guy, he helped train me in the very beginning, and of course we've been keeping in contact with each other for the past 4 or 5 years, and he is, in my opinion, one of the bigger local indie guys we have around here. I do feel like he's a guy that should get an opportunity in some of these, like, other companies like MLW or GCW or Ring of Honor. But his name's Big Stan Harris. And if you go back on my YouTube channel, you'll see a lot of his matches on my channel when I go to his shows. So from a more realistic standpoint, a local indie guy that we got around here in Texarkana by the name of Big Stan Harris. But from a more unrealistic standpoint, even though I am definitely afraid of this man, I would love to get in a ring and for like 5 minutes, Minoru Suzuki beat the ever-loving shit out of me for 5 minutes. Him or Lance Archer. I would love to be like one of those jobbers on like AEW Dark or AEW Dark Elevation, and you see like Lance Archer just dragging him out to the ring and toss him in the ring, or like Lance Archer enters the ring and just before the ring announcer can even finish ring announcing, bam, just kick me right in the face, knock my ass out. As great as it sounds, getting my ass kicked by Suzuki or Lance Archer would be amazing.
Nice. What about you, Buddha?
If I ever step foot in the ring,
yeah,
I would like to be super kicked by Shawn Michaels.
There you go.
Shawn Michaels is one of my favorite wrestlers, dating back to, the early 90s. But
did you see my picture I posted with I had a picture with him?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
saw that.
lucky
Yeah.
bastard.
He's a lucky bastard. Yeah, I was backstage at that. That was October 3rd, 2005, Raw Homecoming when it came back to the USA Network.
Oh my
Oh
god.
wow.
I was in Dallas, Texas, and that was at the American Airlines Arena. And after that show, they let us go backstage with my buddy Jody. Sorry, but Jody is the smaller black guy who's real skinny. He had sickle cell anemia. He was part of the Make a Wish Foundation. He's actually been inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame, and that was at WrestleMania 35. I've got the clips and stuff, and I still talk to him to this day. I've wrestled him too. Really cool cat, but that's the reason why we were there. We got to go backstage, met Cena, met Shawn Michaels, met Batista, but we didn't get to get a lot of pictures with all of them because everybody was like rushing and stuff. I even met Vince McMahon for a second, but he was like, all he asked was, Did you boys enjoy the show?" I was like, "Yes, sir, we did." I got to shake his hand. I was like, "It was my future boss. There's my future boss." And then he walked off. I didn't get to see Austin from that night. I really wish I did. I didn't get to see Triple H. I would have loved that. But there was one guy I wanted to say real quick. Didn't mean to interrupt you, but
Oh, you're fine.
there was one wrestler that was completely different. I don't know if he was just doing kayfabe legitimately. If so, he was doing a great job. But JBL was a complete dick. I said, "Hey, JBL, what's up?" He just looked at me, and then he looked right back like he didn't even make it. I'm like, "Well, fuck you too."
Yeah, JBL, he's one of those guys. He will keep the kayfabe if he's a heel. Like right now, if you met him, he probably wouldn't care. He'd probably say hi and all that,
Yeah.
everything, because he's the legend, so he doesn't have to act heel or babyface. But 2005 JBL, oh yeah, he would have been a dick.
Yeah. Carlito, got to see Carlito. He asked what our favorite match of the night was, and he goes, "That's not cool. That's not cool." I was
Did he spit an apple in your face?
No, he didn't. I guess he was out of apples or whatever. But it was a really fun night, and I wasn't too concerned about Cena, even though he was a champion, because I didn't have the respect for him like I do today. So that's why, if you look at that picture, I was like, it's John Cena. But Shawn Michaels, man, when the Michaels came up, I was like fucking a kid in a candy store. I'm like, holy shit, it's Shawn fucking Michaels. I love Shawn Michaels, just like you do, Buddha. He's one of my top be all end alls.
The first time I ever went to a WWE match was 98, I believe, 98 or
Yeah.
99,
Lucky.
and they were at the Oklahoma City Convention Center, I believe. But me and my buddies were in the nosebleed section, and it was a taping of what was it? Of SmackDown, Sunday Night Heat, and there was a third show at that time, but it wasn't Raw. And I want to say it's Saturday Night Main Event, but I'm not sure. Or Friday night. Um, there was SmackDown and Sunday Night Heat, but I can't remember that third show. But I remember I was pissed off because The Rock had taken off, so I didn't get to see The Rock. Triple H wasn't there. That pissed me off. And then they taped two matches that weren't in sequence with the Hardys. It was the Saturday night or the Sunday Night Heat match came before another match for the show. I can't remember which one it was, and Jeff Hardy had gotten hurt in that Sunday Night Heat match.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, but I got to see JR get racked by Stone Cold. That was pretty cool.
Oh nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Was that the night that Austin beat the hell out of JR because he turned heel? So you saw that in 2001 then?
Was
That's
it
when that
2001?
was. Yeah, because
Okay.
I know WWE days, especially the Attitude Era. I know
Okay,
exactly. I was in Oklahoma City. He said right in his hometown, and he
So
goes,
if that was
"You want to
2000
hit me, hillbilly boy?" And then he beat the shit out of him.
So if that was
Something like
2001, I may remember that third show then if it was 2001. It would have been SmackDown, Sunday Night Heat and this show called Jacked.
Yeah, that's right.
If it was
Jacked.
2001.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Like I said,
you're a bastard for getting to go to that, but I got one over you. I did get to go to WrestleMania 17 and sit up there in them seats. We paid like $200 for our seats. I was 17 years old. I was as old as WrestleMania. I got to see Austin and Rock live. So
I wanted to get tickets for WrestleMania for this year, but no, the only seats that are available right now are behind the Titantron.
Oh hell, that
Yeah,
so I got my tickets the very first day, and I don't know how I did this. I guess I must have messed it up trying to make sure I got the 2-day combo, but I accidentally bought an extra ticket to the show.
how much you pay for
it?
So for both nights, so basically 4 tickets, I spent $340.
That's not bad.
So basically 170 for myself, and then one of my buddies, the buddy who trained with me that I was talking about earlier for my story, he's gonna go with me. He's gonna pay me the 170 for the other ticket. So thankfully I got that settled. But I'm glad I realized I bought 2 tickets because I didn't know until like last week that I bought 2 tickets.
My buddy Jody, this is the cool thing about him. He's got anytime they come to Texas, he can go to any wrestling show anytime for free. And he asked me if I could go to WrestleMania with him. And I told him I don't know if I can, but I will let him know. And he said, well, he's got 4 tickets. I said, okay. He said, let me know and I'll hold one for you, but you got to let me know.
That's a free ticket. You got to make the trip for that.
He's got the seats that he's got is behind the main camera that sits on the thing, and then we get access to the Hall of Fame and to WWE access and all that. So we get to meet guys, and I'm like, holy shit! But it's like the only thing getting me is it's not what I don't know. I'm just being weird. It'll be good though. I know it'll be good.
Yeah, so hopefully this Mania will be better than the last time they went to Dallas, 2016. I went to that one, when they went to the Dallas the first time, where it was Reigns, Triple H, Taker, Shane, all that.
Yeah.
Unpopular opinion, it's not as bad of a Mania as everyone says it was, but damn, was it hard to get through Taker, Shane, and Reigns, Triple H.
Steele decided he wanted to say, do you think you're good enough for WWE there, Nemesis? If you're asking me if I think I'm good enough for WWE, I mean, you're going to be a little cocky ass. Let me ask you, do you think you're good enough for WWE? I know I would be. If I really, really wanted to go, despite what other people said, because I've heard a lot of people say you're just a backyarder. Doesn't matter. I'm still in a ring. I'm still showing what I can do. I'm showing what I'm capable of. The question is, can you do it? Can anybody else do it? A lot of people like to talk shit on backyard wrestlers. Where the hell do you think anybody? I'm sorry, I'm venting right now. Where the fuck do you think all these guys who are fans of wrestling come from? They have done backyard wrestling. Look at the Hardys. They wrestled on trampolines and did backyard wrestling because they were fans. That's what fans do. That's how you hone your craft. That's how you get good. CM Punk, one of the greatest in the business, is self-taught. James Taylor is self-taught. I have studied and studied and studied hours upon hours of wrestling matches. That's how I've honed my craft. Not saying I'm the greatest ever, no. But one thing I'm going to do, one thing, guys, and y'all are witnesses to hear this, one thing I'm going to do with TBW is prove that I'm the greatest backyard wrestler of all time. And that backyard wrestling doesn't have to stand for strictly hardcore trash. No, backyard wrestling could still be pro wrestling matches. It's just in a backyard, and you're putting on a show. You look at my match I had with Gage Flair. Was there anything hardcore in that? Well, he hit my head on a guardrail. I rolled backwards. He hit me. He gave me a suplex on the ground on the outside, but then we went back in the ring and finished it. There was no weapons involved. It doesn't mean we were trash wrestling. We were just wrestling. And that's something I know I could do.
So real quick, I've been enjoying this. I got to get going. My day's starting to get busy now, but hopefully maybe I can get a one-on-one session. My
Yeah.
off days are Sunday, Monday, so maybe I can get an off session hopefully here in the next few weeks or so. But it's
All
been
right.
catching up
There
with
you go.
y'all.
Good catching up with you, man. Thanks for stopping by. And Buddha, this is where we can wrap it up for sure. Is there any other
Awesome.
thing that you're curious about, want to ask, or any comments you'd like to leave?
No, I think this has been a really good 2 hours. I mean, I enjoyed it. I had fun. Now I do have a podcast I'd like to plug. Can I do that?
Yes, you most definitely can. Everybody,
All right.
please listen
All
here,
right.
and I'll even
My
I'll put a link in the description. Buddha, I'm gonna ask you to send me a link to it, and I will put it in the
Okay.
description for you to help you with that.
All right. If you enjoy cruising, it's about Carnival Cruise Lines. It's called Carnival Cruising Podcastaways. You can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/Carnival Cruising Podcastaways. And I'll send you a link to put that in the description.
Nice,
Um,
nice.
and you can find it anywhere that you listen to your podcast. It's me and my buddy. We just talk about cruising and what to expect on cruises, basically.
There you go. Nice. I mean,
Mm.
and out. Same thing like with Peter Richards. He has his podcast and stuff, and I've been on it. And, hopefully, maybe I can get on one of your podcasts one day.
Maybe we can convince you to go on a cruise. I mean, I don't know if
Uh,
you've ever been on a cruise before.
I've never been on a cruise. I always have wanted to, but never was able to figure out how to really do it, or now had the time to do it. But we'll definitely see.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
So,
awesome. Well, if I was to end it with a question before we end, the last question I would have for you, Buddha, would be if Buddha had the chance to become a world heavyweight champion again, would he take it?
I want to say I'd take the high road and say no, because I want to let the new talent have their shot at the limelight, but I know that the Buddha's response would be fuck yes, I want that shot.
There you go. There you go.
Um,
Well,
um,
it's
yeah.
been an honor. What? Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just saying, yeah, that I would probably take it.
Oh God, here we go. It's called a hard cam, Mr. Backyard. Well, how about if you're feeling so froggy, why don't you step in the backyard with me and show me what you got, hot shot? Because I don't really think you got anything. I don't see no proof on your wrestling skill, buddy. So, now that being said, it has been an honor that you've been here, Buddha. I really appreciate it. Would you consider coming back to the show again?
Yeah, I would. Yeah, definitely. Just let me know when and where, and we'll do this.
Great, definitely. We
And
definitely.
I've had a blast. It's great.
Nice. This is the Nemesis Sessions, Chapter 11, Buddha, the Enlightened One Buddha. I want to thank you all for stopping by. And if you haven't, hit that subscribe button, share it with your friends, Facebook, Twitter, all that good shit. And me and Buddha here will catch your asses down the road. And have a good one. And